She's the CEO of Katie Staffing. She's a dynamic public speaker, career and life coach, but she's also the award-winning international best-selling author of Riding the Executive Roller Coaster, Medical Staffing Cases. I'd like to introduce you to Kelli Christina.
Well, hello, Jeff Savage. Wait a minute. I'm so excited to see you again this year.
It's nice to see you as well. Let's sit down and talk about your book.
Okay.
Now, it's been a fantastic year, and let's talk about the path and the multiple awards it received in 2021.
We did have, or I did have, and my team, a very exciting 2021. I'm launching that book, Jeff. It was in the spring of 2021. Of course, Riding the Executive Roller Coasters, Medical Staffing Cases beat John Grisham in legal. And so you hear a lot about this 225-page litigation book rewritten. So this is an original, what an original manuscript would look like.
Oh, wow.
I had 3 copies. This is 10 years of government work, litigation, legal, government officials, and it took 2 years, Jeff, to rewrite and to change the characters and change out the public records for legal so that I could release this book to the general public. So that's very exciting. I won on this book 4 trifectas, which is huge. United States, Canada, Australia, and United Kingdom. You know, the book itself has a lot of different personalities. In best-selling categories, it's kind of all over the map, but just very exciting and thrilling. I got best-selling rankings in, of course, employment law, legal, personal testimonial, inspirational testimonial, crime drama, politics, business, medical, and the list rolls on. So very exciting, a lot of best-selling categories. You know, for me personally, you know, I met some very nice, whether we're talking about more media contacts, super fantastic podcasters, and a couple magazine on the media side. You know, Jeff, my California publisher, Sandy Missouri, a huge thanks for all of her promotions, and I could not have, without her publishing, I couldn't have done it without her. So I never want to forget Sandy. Of course, Sandy pushed me out on live cameras. For those that know me from Texas, I've probably set a world's record about 6 or 7 years of staying away from the live cameras because, you know, then Jeff, you have to realize, you know, some of the leaders in the country, if you have my personality, we like to hide behind a curtain, which means we don't do things like making a difference in that book to be on live camera. We do it to make a difference in this country. So you'll find strong leaders that like to stay behind a curtain, and you'll find those strong leaders that like to jump on stage. And you know, from a lot of people's perspective, Jeff, it was time for me to come from behind the curtain. And right?
Great.
One of my favorite connections this year would be 𝐦𝐸 Go All In Media, ABC 15. They gave my book an International Impact Book Award, and I know you attended the author event and the awards event, was it last November in Arizona?
Absolutely.
And it was very special to me because 𝐦𝐸's vision was to take that event and make it like the Oscars, but it was for the authors, and that was a super special event while we did accept that award. You had fun too, right?
Absolutely, it was a great event.
It was. Anyway, that's the book, that's the path, and that's the direction. Lots of best-selling categories, awards, and just a fun year.
That's great, Kelli. One of the central themes of this book is a message to other people to do what it takes. Can you explain this message to our viewers?
I love that question, Jeff. This is a do what it takes type book, and it's an extreme example of what does it take to do what it takes. I've had a lot of questions about the title, Riding the Executive Roller Coaster, and that ties into do what it takes, all right? When I think of a roller coaster and life, I think when you're on top of the roller coaster, you're on top of life, right? And then you crash to the bottom, right, on life. That happens to, you know, quite a few people out there. And the question was when you go straight from the top all the way to the extreme bottom, do you have what it takes to rebuild, Jeff? And in this book, of course, you know, I play Catherine Lane, and she's the executive, she's the boss, she's used to all these titles her whole entire life. And through, you know, lawsuits, loss, trauma, stress, you know, in 2011, I'm a homeless recruiter, okay? And I am forced to start life again working 2 and 3 restaurant jobs, all right? Now, if you were a boss at 19, when you're out at 41 years old and you have no vehicle, no home, and you're working a job that you're overqualified for, the first feeling you have is you're not happy. And you have to learn, you know, that life, you've got to pull forward and do those things that are uncomfortable, because as you go in this book, I get stronger and I rebuild my company. And what I mean by that is by 2015, late 2015, first of 2016, Jeff, those 2 and 3 restaurant jobs that I was overqualified for because I was a boss at 19, they rebuilt my company. And it is the best feeling in the entire world when you walk into the bank with the exact amount of money that you opened your company with in 2007. Only this time, you didn't borrow the money, you saved it, baby, and you're back up, all right? So when I say do what it takes, I can pick on myself in the book, all right? Because 10 years prior to what had gone down in medical staffing with all the lawsuits, Jeff, I had too much pride. You asked me to go get a second job or a weekend job or whatever, I would say, excuse me? I mean, I'm an executive, I'm a CEO. Well, let me tell you something. I've met a lot of other top leaders, CEOs, executives out there, and you know what? They'll do what it takes too, which means I've seen them run valet, I've seen them run fine dining, I've seen them run Amazon, and what are they doing? They are taking care of their families, which means you might not have that top position, but whatever job you've got, do what it takes, all right? And I feel like this book is a very strong, centered message for where we are right now in society. You know, the last couple of years with pandemic has really shut people down, all right? We don't have a lot of people that are extremely happy right now. You know, we have family members that have been sick. We've lost family and friends, okay? But the point is, in 2021, there was a lot of talk, and the talk was we got about 50% of our people in this country working their butts off and doing what it takes, and we got 50% sitting down, hiding from work, and this has got to stop, you know? We got to, for the economy, for inflation, for all the product lines and everything behind schedule in this country, we're going to see a few more people get out there, not because it's happy times, not because, you know, we're laying in flowers or anything, because we got to do what it takes to pull forward, you know? Whenever you're rebuilding from a time that you've fallen down, you know, you don't rebuild in 1 hour. You don't rebuild in a day, sometimes a week. You know, it's forward progress. So do what it takes. It could be practicing humility, coming out of the-box plans, picking up an extra job, but pulling forward to better times.
Wow, Kelli, that was an inspiring message. Thank you so much for sharing that. You are known as being a medical lobbyist in this country, fighting for more fair laws and regulations in the staffing industry. Can you give us some specific examples from the book that kind of tell how things go wrong in professional offices?
Jeff, we won't give away the book, but there are plenty of examples of what goes wrong from a legal perspective in professional offices. You know, in 2010, in the book, you'll see an original very bad lawsuit go down. The fault was, of course, a company owner and a female VP. But the problem with one lawsuit, Jeff, is when people don't know legal, then the book would go on to the 85% of the recruitment staff that were victims of the first lawsuit. But what do they do in revenge for the injustice, which is break more laws? And what ends up happening is you have one lawsuit that rolls right into future court cases and future court cases. You know, Jeff, if I had a genie in a bottle, and if he would grant me 3 wishes, or I would give you like the strongest business advice, what I would tell people and what I would wish is that they would spend more money, a little bit of money, on legal and attorneys up front in their business, all right? And I say up front because know your employment laws, know what you can and you can't do in the business offices, and you will stay out of disaster if you have a little bit more legal knowledge up front, all right? In the matter of, you know, what company owners and executives can do to cause disaster in their offices, I can't tell you how many years that I've, you know, tried to tell, maybe 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, a recruiter, little things like when you say break the law, hey, if you steal the company owner's database, okay? If you break your non-compete, if you take company information, there's something called records, which means you're going right into the courthouse and you are in litigation. Stay away from that, all right? So in the book, there's an extreme example of how one lawsuit snowballs into future lawsuits and then who's breaking the laws next, all right? But my advice would be is don't copy any of these business practices in this book, all right? Educate yourself up front, whatever industry you're in, on the laws, and then, oh, by the way, obey them. And then my final piece of advice goes like this. Oh my gosh, use attorneys. Use attorneys with contracts, fee agreements, you know, employee paperwork, you know, pay those professionals. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a fee agreement and attorneys can't figure out who gets what in the agreement. So spend a little bit more money and thought and set your business up from legal and stay out of trouble. That's the message.
Wow, Kelly, from a legal perspective, that's really valuable information. Now tell me, what kind of readers will enjoy this book?
Well, the book has different personalities, so I feel like it attracts different realms of readers. Readers that enjoy drama, it's definitely labeled, actually they call it a memoir, a notebook, a crime drama, and a novel. And so readers that enjoy those type of books, also readers that enjoy legal and courthouses and government and Washington, D.C. and FBI, that always attracts. And then readers that simply enjoy inspirational testimonial book on my own path and journey towards falling down, rising back up, and getting stronger in the future.
And that ties back to the central theme of the book of doing what it takes. Kelly, where can people find your book?
Okay, the book is all over the map, and it's very exciting, but of course Amazon has both ebook that you can pull up immediately and a paperback version. It's also been distributed to Barnes & Noble and Ingram Sparks. Hard copies and paperbacks available. And last but not least, we're showing my author website. It's Kelli Dennehey Christina.com. On the website is a write-up and a buy book button. And that's about it.